Good evening and welcome to another episode of the first and only call-in show dedicated to the simulation hypothesis. I'm the one and only RAO, and this is home of the Neon Alliance. Give me just a second so I can pull up that call screen for whenever we get ready for it. Today I want to discuss speedrunners versus casual gamers, and there's several aspects to this that I wanted to bring up. There's several things that it kind of got brought up before, and it's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. But yesterday, the stream kind of failed out on me. I mean, maybe it was a disaster, but maybe I did it wrong. Maybe I wasn't showing you what a speedrun was. And when speedrunners screw something up, we don't try to make the best of it. We don't start at the last save point. We reset and we do the whole thing over again. That's what speedrunning is a one and done, get her done, go for it thing. And so if I'm trying to tell you what speedrunning is about, maybe it's only fitting that I've got something that I have to reset. Give me just a second because I'm going to need to grab this controller right here. Yes, that's the one. So, for one thing I did wrong was I didn't reset at all. I was trying to make it more fluid, but at the same time, that's being dishonest with you. It's seriously being dishonest. If I'm trying to tell you what a speedrun is and not doing a speedrun, that's lame and weak. And you're about to hear a lot of that. Now, I am not going to make a habit of this. But I'm going to do a speed run on this live stream just so anyone who's not familiar with it kind of sees what's going on, what it's about, that kind of thing. So let's get into that now so you can see what a speed run is, what a speed run does. You can see I've got the game audio up right now, or the game video. Let me get that audio on for you. And this is not the game that I'm playing. This is actually kind of a demo screen. Ooh. There we go. And then we're going to click that and turn this on. Now, this is one of the first things that you're going to notice about the difference between casual gamers and speedrunners. We've always got some kind of timer like this, whether it be like a timer we're looking at on our phone or a timer that's actually on the screen. But I've only got two screens right now, so one thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to not be looking at my YouTube screen for the time being, because I need to be able to see what I'm doing in real time. My capture card, now the reason I was late today, the reason I was 10 minutes late is because my capture card failed out on me. It works, but it's sensitive. But the capture card has a very slight input delay, so if I'm looking at the game through my capture card rather than the TV, I'm not going to have that frame perfect input that I need during a speed run. So we're gonna get into this right quick, and let me just make sure that my mic is on and doing its thing. Alright, we got the mic on and doing its thing. So we're gonna drop down here just to make sure that my mic stays on. Ooh, let's mute that. Sorry about that. Now, if you'll notice, we also have the category that I'm running on top of there, like right down here. It says Contra 3 low percent. One, two. And like that's another thing about speedrunners is challenge runs. We had different categories that we're running. And instead of like turning around to shoot at these guys, and I have to know to jump there so I don't get the oh yeah, I got that awesome RNG going on with that. Oh shit. That's a reset. Give me just a bit. We're gonna reset that because I wasn't paying any attention. And that was a dumb mistake. It's gonna take a couple of runs to get to the spot. Just because, like, basically if I don't get the right run on the first part, I know the rest of the run's gonna be doomed. And that was just purely me not paying attention. And that's another difference between the speed run and a casual run, is there's mistakes that you can make in a casual run. That was bad RNG. Sorry about that. And I can actually reset from here. I'm not gonna throw my face in the camera anymore because I've got another way to reset that it'll alter the RNG, the random number generators, that it gives the appearance of the game being random. So like you're hearing that clunk on the space bar from me hitting the splits timer, because I know exactly how long that black screen lasts. And that time I had terrible RNG on the bombs, because when the bombs get thrown out, I don't have to duck. And whenever I'm ducking, I'm losing spots where I could be shooting. But now, we might have a run. There's a couple of more RNG trolls I've got to worry about. And you see there, I'm using the screen roll to my advantage to try to save as much time as possible. And that screen roll is going to come in handy right here. And I actually have to count the explosions. To know exactly when I can move. And I'm using that screen roll right now so that I can jump over those fireballs. Because you saw how I barely missed them, and then you saw how the screen like locked onto me when I was in the middle. But if you're sitting in the middle when you hit those fireballs that are coming up, what's going to end up happening is you'll have to wait for them or you'll get hit by them. And this turtle right here is horrible for RNG. I got to save there because I knew that they were good. I knew when the turtle was going to shoot at me. So knowing when the turtle was going to shoot at me, what I was able to do was manipulate where he shot at me so I wouldn't get caught in the trap. And you notice I switched my weapon before the game even started because I had to know what gun I wanted. Ugh! And that was ugly. Like, this, I've made a couple of mistakes in it before. I either get a good level or a good boss kill, Now, if you've played Contra, you kind of have an idea of what this boss does. And that is what we call a quick kill. What that means is I'm skipping boss phases that casual gamers would usually have to do to beat the game. So because I'm skipping boss phases, I can get through that particular boss a little bit faster by knowing what it's going to do in advance. And that's all RNG right there, the way those things drop. And that's another quick kill because I skipped the boss phase there because it's supposed to have the spot where it's stationary. Knowing exactly where to stand at all points in time. And knowing exactly where you want to be at all points in time. Now, I showed you this in the last one, but when those missiles come out, if you're shooting, it slows the game down because of the parallax scrolling in the background. You see how the clouds are all moving at different speeds? There's so much going on in the game that even though it's supposed to run at 60 frames per second, if you have too much stuff on the screen, you're going to get slowdown. So that's another thing about the speedrun, is knowing when you can and can't shoot, because you're not just trying to, because you're dealing with real time. So when you're dealing with real time, you still have to pay attention to what might slow you down. Now you see how I'm climbing up the wall just regular here. And then as soon as the screen starts moving, I start wall jumping. And that's another strategy. And I didn't lose any time there because I'm still in front of the screen and I still had the screen lock. But I also had to worry about dodging that bullet. So it's knowing when you can slow down, when you need the screen to work to your advantage. And this is something I'm going to try. I can't guarantee it's going to work, but if you're sitting at home and it didn't work because I got too far off, but you basically have to be on the last 3 pixels of that spinning wheel. And if you jump at the right moment, you can clip and get that ledge. And you see I'm still in front of the screen now. And this is really particular because this red skeleton right here, it can't hit you if you're in the spot. But this is the only spot where it can't hit you. It can hit you from anywhere else, but the way the patterns run, it's actually almost a glitch. And that's another part of it, is using the glitches to your advantage. Here's another part where there's so much going on that if you were to be firing right here, you get some slowdown in the frame rate. And you see how I'm manipulating those things to move where I wanted them to? And jumping over that fireball right there, that's something that you normally wouldn't do. Normally what you would do is you would walk, you would like wall climb around. And I was missing my B button. But I'm going to try to get this manip slip. Oh, I missed. Now you'll see that I lost 2.9 seconds there, but I can still make it up. I'm in the part right now where I'm basically running a reset. I got green splits on my first two, and the rest of this is just trying to basically trying to get through the game in a 1 credit clear. And another important part of it is trying to save your life because you know where you're going to need them. So you don't want to use lives too early because of what might happen later. You basically have to plan the whole game from the beginning and know exactly where you're going to be and have your backup straps ready. And it completely changes the way that the game is played. And you saw that little bit of slowdown? I was actually trying to avoid that by staying in front of it. And you notice that I didn't shoot at him when he very first dropped down, and I waited a little bit. And that's what we call going slow to go fast, because you actually want to manipulate him to where you can get that continuous fire on him. Because if you have to go from several different directions at once, you're going to lose time. Whereas if you go with me, you can get that one continuous string of fire. And you also saw that I was shooting down there like that way before the boss showed up. That's another matter of knowing exactly where everything's going to be and when it's going to be there. And I missed. See, I should have held out just a little bit longer. And another thing I didn't mention before is is if you'll notice in the top left corner, you'll see what weapon I'm on, and you'd be able to see it better if I was running any %, but I've got those two eagles that I keep switching between, and the game has basically a refresh rate for the, a cooldown time is, I guess, the most accurate thing you could call it. But if and that should have been a 1 cycle, but it failed because I had those things in the exact wrong spot. Now the cooldown doesn't affect this top down section. So I don't need to worry about where my guns are right there. But in the side-scrolling section, I'll show you what's going on. Where you can get a few more shots off. Oof. And I lost time there, so... Let's see. Yeah, I lost 8 seconds there. And the world record for this game is 17 minutes and 53 seconds. The absolute best I've ever done, stage for stage, is 17:43, meaning my best is 10 seconds faster than the world record. But the absolute best I can do. But the best I've done in a single run is 18 minutes and 20 seconds. And you can see that in the bottom-ish right of the timer. And I've got enough lives that I don't have to do a sacrifice. But I also know that there's a continue. If you have to die and take a continue, then you'll respawn at this heart. So if I'm low on lives, I will take a death at that spot. Because I know it's going to have the least amount of time, and it's kind of a cover your ass. And this is gonna 3-cycle on me. I messed it up because I didn't get enough shots off in time because I died in that one spot. But I'm not too worried about dying there. See, dying during that explosion, and there's another set of wall jumps. You can still use the screen roll to protect you. And again, I'm shooting at that thing way before. Ooh, I missed, but just barely. And you're about to see it here. Oh. Maybe I missed it by a bit more than I thought I did. So, I think the run is dead, but it's so close that I don't want to reset this late in the game. Because I know I can still... Unless it drops an RNG bomb like that, wow! Like, I've never seen it do that before. Where it just throws everything in the spot where I was, because that's usually a pretty safe spot to be. You usually only have to do like one jump per, like, horizontal cycle. Even to the spot where I'm picking which one of these I want. Because I can get continuous shots off with the legs where I can't get continuous shots off with anything else. So I want to be doing as much damage as I can. Now, in an any percent run, which means you're able to collect items and use grenades and all that kind of stuff, you want to have different cycles. This is an any percent cycle. Because you see, I can't shoot it enough to get very much damage going on. And I lost the record, so we're not even trying for that at this point. And I'm pretty sure I lost the PB too. And I think this is going to be the last cycle. Yeah. So, it's going to cost me some seconds. I might have been able to do it faster than that if I'd have made some better decisions. But you're not just trying to beat the game. You're trying to beat the game faster than anybody else in the world ever has. And that was almost a minute slower than the world record. So, we're playing a game based on seconds. Now, I'm going to go ahead and shut this off and get out of the game so that we can start talking again. Ugh. And move back to the YouTube screen so I can pay attention to the chat that's going on. Oh wow. Give me just a bit. Let me get back over to here. And normalizing atheism. Welcome in. I just now got back in the chat. Like I was saying earlier, I only have 2 screens. So when I'm playing the game, I can't watch the speedrun timer and the game and the YouTube chat all at the same time. But normalizing atheism is like they are basically the boss, top dog of the Atheist Network group. And quick shout out to them because I mean they support the hell out of me, so I'm gonna do the same for them. That's the Ozone. That's Tang. That's who am I forgetting? That's Crash the Party featuring Dr. Cack Stevenson's. Gotta love Dr. Cack Stevenson's. But there are speedrunning isn't just about video games. Like that's what it mainly relates to. But when we're talking about the simulation hypothesis, you have to take into consideration that there's 2 different ways to live. Like there are people who live casually, like day-to-day life. We go to work, we eat, we go to the bathroom, we sleep, repeat. We have fun, we do things. Then there are people who speedrun life. And those are the people, because you've also got the people that are going to make it in life because like they had the family, they had the connections, they were doing the thing they were supposed to be doing. They had all of these things going on. So they didn't really have to take extra risks to succeed. And then you got the people who didn't have it, the people that weren't born there, the people like me, like Tang, like all these other folks who have to spend money on dreams, who have to spend money on endeavors, who have to take risks in order to get to the spot where the people who started off that way started off. And that's what I think speedrunning life is about. It's not the second-to-second thing that you're seeing in speedruns, but at the same time, it's also taking risks that casual lifers won't do. And that doesn't mean somebody who goes to jail for life casually. I guess when you get a life term, it's considered prison. But I think about it like this. We have to take we don't have to take those risks to live. But if we want to get our names on leaderboards, it's going to take some sacrifice, some risk. And there will be times where people will put themselves at risk for the sake of making it. So, yeah, I'm not telling you not to take the risks. I'm not telling you that you have to take the risks. I'm not saying that either way is wrong. Because one thing you're going to notice about speedrunners is they love the game more, but they enjoy the game less. Like, bottom line. A speedrunner loves the game that they're playing more than any casual player will. They dedicate themselves to it 60 times per second. But you're going to see speedrunners who will, like, yeet the controller across the room. I've done it more than once. And flat out scream that they hate this game. Like, it's a common thing and yeah, speedrunners will, for the most part, speedrunners are a lot more foul-mouthed running a game than you're ever going to see them being living life. Just the controller, the console, sometimes the monitor takes damage and it's just, fuck this game, I hate this game. And you're going to see that amount of, it's not a matter of, well, in that moment they hate the game. But it's the emotional dedication to the game, the effort that they put into the game for the run. And then when the run fails, it almost feels like a fail in effort. Like your effort turned out to be nothing. And that's the emotional dedication, the anger that you're going to see when a speedrunner's playing the game. Now, yes, casual gamers will get angry at a game, but they're not going to have the same investment that a speedrunner has. And that's why you're going to see people in life who, when they're putting the effort in, when they're trying to get past where they're at, when they're trying to thrive, when they're striving to thrive, rather than just being comfortable, you're going to see those people being a lot more worried and anxious about life in general, because they're putting an effort that you might not even see. Like the whole thing with me, like, slamming the X button over 2 or 3 times a second while I'm pushing all these other buttons. That's something that, as a casual gamer, you might not even see that little bit of extra effort with tagging the X button. With the, in Super Metroid, and actually, Sunday, I didn't break any records, but I broke the 60-minute mark for the Super Metroid 80% run. And I'll show you that right here. Is with the with Super Metroid, whenever you're moving, if you hit these buttons, the way the game works, it has a slight glitch where it'll move you another pixel forward and save you 4 or 5 seconds throughout the run. Well, it'll say, I don't know if it's 4 or 5 seconds, it might be up to a couple of minutes when you're just tagging the L and R buttons like that. But it's those little bitty pieces of extra effort, and a casual gamer just looking at somebody speedrunning and seeing that smash wouldn't even know why the person is doing that, because they don't know the game enough to know that it's an advantage. Or, especially with Super Metroid, I'll use that as another example. Because in that game, if you're going downhill and you try that L&R, it's going to knock you off of the ground because you moved that frame, but now you're in the air, and you'll lose the speed that you got. So not only do you have to know that the L&R thing makes you go faster, you also have to know when you can't do it, because doing it at the wrong time will screw you up, and it'll take that time that you just spent doing the L&R mash. So not only does a speedrunner have to know this game better, they're going to do things that either don't make sense to a casual runner, or a casual runner doesn't even understand what's going on. And that's what I'm saying is, you don't have to take the risk to live. You don't have to try to pressure yourself to beat the game as fast as possible to play the game. But don't be afraid to take the risks that you know you can take. But take the risks as though you only have one life to live. Because, I mean, even if we live in a video game, even if we are in a simulation, you don't get to just restart and try it again from the top. You take too many stupid risks, you end up in a hole in the ground. And that's what I'm saying is, don't be afraid to take the risks, but understand the risks that you're taking when you take them. With that, we are going to go ahead and open up the call lines. Alright, they're opened up. The call lines are open. We are taking calls now. But, I wanted to give another quick shout out to Normalizing Atheism, to the Tang Gang, to Ozzy Oz of the Tang Gang, Nate Yam of Crash the Party, Josh Bowen, Just Jeff the Atheist Troll, everybody that's rolling with Pasta Mike and Normalizing Atheism. Just wanted to take that time to show that love. Also wanted to, if you enjoy watching the speedruns and you want to see more of that and less of the simulation hypothesis, go ahead and check out the one and only RAO, all one word, on Twitch. And you can find me there doing challenge runs, doing ranked runs, doing speed runs. As well as that, we have the, the subscription, the likes, the bells, those all help me out to make the channel grow, make it spread. So if you want more people to be able to learn about the simulation hypothesis from the perspective of somebody who subscribes to the simulation hypothesis, then go ahead and give it those likes, give it those subscribes on the channel. And if you want to show a little bit of extra support, we also have the Patreon, and the Patreon is the one and only RAO, all one word, where you can you get a shout out just for the minimum donation. I'll shout you out at the end of the show, let everybody know that you are a supporter of Home of the Neon Alliance, and whether you're a supporter of the simulation hypothesis or not. If you support the channel, then go ahead and drop that and I'll give you the shout out. The next tier of that is just for my Twitch. You'll still get the shout out on YouTube, but that's a special thing where you can pop into my Twitch and control what game I'm playing. Ask me about my game collection. Say, I want to see you play this one. Alright, we're playing that one then. Also, the loyalty merch. And there's two ways to do the loyalty merch. The first way is $10 over the course of 3 months, gets you the Neon Butterfly t-shirt. You could say, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. cost me $30. We also have the, I don't remember how much it costs. It's either $20 or $30 a month for the 1 year loyalty program. And after 3 months, you get the sticker. After 6 months, you get the coffee cup. After 9 months, you get the T-shirt. And then after a year, you get that neon butterfly hoodie. So yeah, you got 2 different ways to have the loyalty merch. You've got several different ways to support several different channels. And I just wanted to put that out there. It's whoa! Somebody just failed a speed run. That was the cops. Oh, man. You know, I moved out of the big city because I was worried about the crime going on. Turns out when you live in it's just living by a main street. Living by a main street, you're going to have cops going on. And it's just that there's a lot more main streets in the city. We've got 1 traffic light here. Just 1. But let's see. And yeah, the shout outs or the promotions aren't just for the sake of promotions. That's kind of something I do when I open up the phone lines to kind of give people time to call in and all that kind of thing, and just have noise coming out of my face hole while we're waiting for callers. But this was an off day because of the fact that yesterday I was trying to do too much at once. I was trying to speed run the show. And there were audio issues with the intro. There were audio issues with my voice. I was sitting here like talking to nobody for 20 minutes. And I want to keep that one there for yesterday's episode, even though it was terrible, because it kind of ties into the whole speedrunner thing, where I didn't want to just like fix it from there and edit it later. I wanted to do a one and done. So instead of fixing it later, going to post, editing things out, I just decided I was going to reset and start from scratch. And it looks like we fixed all the audio issues this time. It looks like everything went well this time. So if you're not doing something that's going to be like life or death, if you're doing something that's life or death and you make it out alive, just, thank the dice. Thank the dice that you made it. But if you screw something up, don't be afraid of screwing something up. Like, it took months for me to get through that game. It took months for me to be able to beat that game. Just beat it at all. And I was sitting on like a time of 25 minutes or something like that the first time I beat the game. So I drove at it, kept trying, kept getting better. And if you care about something, study the risks and strive to get better than you did the last time you did it. Just, that's what it is. That's what it's about. Is you're, like Wayne Gretzky says, you're gonna miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, as long as you're not causing unnecessary risk to yourself or your loved ones, don't be afraid to give speedrunning life a try. You ain't got to do it, but don't be afraid to do it. It doesn't look like we're going to be getting any callers today because, like I said, it is an off day, and I usually have a regular caller, but doesn't feel like we're gonna have that today. So I'm just gonna exit it here, and I do have a job that I'm looking into that's closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So we might be moving the show's regular time to Tuesday at 5 instead of Monday at 5 Mountain Time, of course. So if that happens, I'll go ahead and let you know, but we're going to keep putting out I'm going to keep putting things out at least once a week for you as long as I can do it. So until next week, keep it real.